Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping, where together we try to unlock some paper crafting fun. And I've got a great fun fold for you tonight, so I think you're going to enjoy it. What's more, it's fairly easy. So today is Monday, July 10th, 2023, and I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And I just love sharing these projects with you each and every Monday night. So just before we go down to the desktop, I have a question for you. I see a few people hopping on. So before I ask my question, I'll just talk about the weather, because we're in Canada. We love to talk about the weather, right? And it was much cooler here today, so much more comfortable. Yesterday was a hot one. So we enjoyed the cooler weather, and it should be just really nice all the way along the rest of this week, I think. So we will take that. So my question to you before we go down to the desktop is, first of all, some of my favorite embellishments right now are the new in color dots. So these are them here. They're the 5 colors, but I find they go with so many more other projects too, and we're going to use them with different colors tonight. They're in great different size. They have 3 different sizes, which is really great. And they're pretty flat, so they mail really well. So I am really enjoying that. So please share in the comments as I go down a favorite embellishment that you enjoy using. It doesn't have to be your most favorite or the most popular, but maybe one you're enjoying using right now during this season of stamping. So share one of your favorite embellishments as we go down to the desktop. I was just chatting with Marilyn how we both were away from Facebook Lives and this kind of thing for a few weeks, and it's sort of like starting all over again here. So seeing people hopping on and saying good evening, super love that. We were also commenting, Marilyn and I had a visit today via Zoom, but how special the Stampin' Up community is, and the people that watch our program, our Facebook Lives, how very special you people are. So thank you. So looking for some of your favorite embellishments. What would they be? Let's just see. Rhinestones. Yes, I think those are likely my go-to. Definitely, Bonnie. And pearls, yes. And I love those flat pearls that we have right now. They just seem to pick up all the colors a little bit better for some reason. So while you're all putting down your embellishments, just a reminder that in July now, up until the last day of July, is bonus days. And what does that mean? It means that you can earn a $6 coupon for every $60 you spend up until the end of July. And there's no limit to how many coupons. So if you've got an order together and you're just a little bit short of 60 or a multiple of 60, say a little bit short of 120, maybe add some glue or something, and then you will have a coupon. What is your next step? After placing your order, the coupon code will be emailed to you. So save those emails. Make sure to keep them in a safe spot, or you might even want to take a picture or print them, but save them, and then in August, spend them. Use them and get some free stuff. That's the perfect way to do it. And I don't know about you, but I do love me some free stuff. So the other thing I also want to mention before we get started is my inked and tiled class, or classes, because I've got different options being offered. If you want the make and take packets, you need to register before midnight tonight, or very early tomorrow morning, because I don't get up that early. So just a little hint of what to expect. I often include a bonus package bonus project, as well. So your bonus project will be this really neat card holder, and then you will make the 4 cards. Yes, one of them is even a fun fold. And so just letting you know that this class is ending. For those of you who are watching from outside of Canada, the PDF and the video tutorial is available worldwide. The make and take packets are only available in Canada, but the rest is available worldwide. So you would need to have the inked and tiled bundle, and I'm using actually the whole suite. So the designer paper and the ribbon and all of that kind of. Sorry, I was having a little bit of camera issues there. So let's just see if we can get that going. So the card I want to make with you tonight is called Card Within a Card. So it's going to look, well, this is the fold. We're using different paper. So it's going to look like this when you look at it. So it looks pretty neat. It's got some nice layers, that kind of thing. But when you open it up, it actually has another card like that. It's really pretty simple to do, and you can do as much stamping as you want, or in this case, I used the designer paper and did very little stamping. So, and of course, you can always do your envelope to match. So there it is. It's called the Card Within a Card, and we're actually going to use Misty Moonlight. I just forgot to share this video to my group page, and that I need to do. My group, pardon me, just to my group. Speaking of which, if you enjoy my videos, I invite you to share them on your social media things too as well. So that would really help me a whole lot. There we go. We're shared. We're all good to go. So we're starting with a regular piece of cardstock, and we've cut it in half the long way. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. All right. So we've got the two pieces. We're going to use most of this sheet of cardstock. Not quite all, but most of it. So just bear with me. I wanted to show you where I started from. So the one sheet here, we are going to cut it to 8 1/4. So I've got my measurements back here. So 8 1/4. We're going to cut that off, and then we're going to score it at 5 1/2, which is our regular, whoops, not cut, score, regular spot. So when we fold it like that, we've got it, and we're going to use this piece, and we've made cards, this design, a lot before, and that is the basic front of the card, but it's the inside that makes it a little bit better. So this piece here is actually 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and somebody looking forward to Thursday and the written measurements. Oh, I'm glad, Bonnie. I've already started writing them up. And then the piece that we cut off is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So it's that there. So those are the two pieces there. Then we have another piece, and we're going to cut this to 3 1/4 by 10. So did I say, yeah, 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 10. Just like that. And then we're going to score it in half at 5. So this is the card that's going within the other card. So there, we fold it like that. So it's 3 1/4 by 10, scored at 5. Paper cutter out of the way. So just so you can get a little visual, this card that we just made is going to go within the bigger card, and this is going to go here. Now that's hard to see until we have some contrasting paper, but just so that you can see where we're heading. All right, so we've got this piece here, we've got this piece here, and we've got this. Now we also need some other paper. So this paper here, who knows what designer paper this is from? Any guesses what designer paper that is from that I used here? I used 2 different patterns from one package. And while you're thinking, I'm just going to spoil it. It's called Let's Go Fishing. So it's this designer paper here. So it looks like this. And then on the other side, yep, it's the fishing one, Roz. Good for you. So there is the one that I used, and there is the other one. So when I was planning tonight's card, I thought, well, I need to use something different than that one just to give a different look. So I thought I would go with this, and I was going to go with this one. But then I thought, well, the back of this is pretty neat, so why don't I just use the front and back of the same sheet? So that's what I'm going to do here. Well, we'll get that out of the way. So we have got one piece that is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go in this way. So if there's like this grain on here, this sort of denim wood grain, whatever, I wanted to cut it going like that. So there's that there. I guess I should go like that so you can see the measurement. Then we're going to need 2 pieces. In this case, I wanted plain cardstock, so this is very vanilla. They're 3 by 4 3/4, and I have 2 of them. And then I have another piece of this same paper that's 2.5 by 4. And then I have the reverse side that's 2.5 by 4. So I have 2 pieces of the designer paper that's 2.5 by 4, just 2 patterns. All right, and then some scraps and stuff. So let's get started and let's make this card. So first off, we're going to just stick this down here. You're going to be amazed at how quickly this goes together. Now, I could have used this side of the paper too, but you know, designer paper, you have to make a decision. And I decided to go with this. Now, I wrestled with whether to use Misty Moonlight or Boho Blue. So let me just bring that in. Whoops. So I played around, and so you can see you get just a different look. So I went with Misty Moonlight, but you could go with whatever, of course. So we've got that like that. Now we're going to put that to the side. We're actually going to make the card that's within the card. All right. So we've got this card here, and one of these pieces of Very Vanilla is going to go here, and one's going to go on the inside. So let's do the one that's going on the outside first. And you can do whatever you want on here. I wanted to keep it pretty simple, and I didn't have the fish stamp, so I thought, well, what if I brought in a mask? Now, our masks come, pardon me, in packages. There's 5 different masks in this package. And where do you find that in the catalog? You might have missed it, actually. They're right here. So they're called decorative masks on page 136, and there's 2 different. There's Artistic Mix and Foursquare. The one that I have right here is, what is it? Artistic Mix. Let me just show you a little bit what's in here. So there's the one that I've got out, and then there's this, like that, and then they also included the cutout pieces. Here's this. Then there's this pretty one, whoops, pretty one there, and then this one here. So sometimes I make my own masks, but these are great to have on hand, and I decided that that's what I was going to use here tonight. So I'm only going to ink up a little bit. I'm bringing in my blending brush, and I'm also bringing in Boho Blue. I'm going for the lighter blue right here. And I'm going to, let me just peek to make sure I'm doing the right one there. Okay, so then we just pounce it, and then we just blend it over. Now, if you think you might let go, you could fasten it down with removable tape or something, but I hope I'm going to be okay. If not, there's always the back of the paper, right? Okay, and ooh, I kind of like that. I think I want just a little feather over there, and maybe a little bit so it looks like it's just fading. And then how do you clean these? You can take a baby wipe, or you can just run it under the tap and then pat it dry with your dish towel, and it works perfectly like that. So now we've done that, and I do want to do a little bit of stamping here. So I was looking around because I don't have the fish set, but I do have oceanfront. So I decided to go with this stamp right here, and I am going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight. So making this card made me want to go buy that fish set, I have to admit. So there, we've got that looking pretty good. And then I don't have fish stamps, but I have fish paper, right? So ahead of time, I cut out some of these. Yes, I even cut some of the little partial pieces. And I think that we could put one coming in about here, and maybe one swimming over here like that. And we've got that going on there. I should maybe bring in my silicone mat. I can see myself perhaps going off the edge here. So we'll put... So we were just talking today about how you can use designer paper as such a great creative tool. You can do an awful lot with it. Just like that. Now, if you've noticed, I've been keeping everything on this side because this over here is going to show, and I want it to stay vanilla. You might not want that. You might want it to have something there. I chose that I didn't want to. So I'm going to put it on the front of my mini card, the card that's going within, just like that. And I'm not going to add embellishments to this. I could have used an embossing folder, but I didn't because I just thought of it this moment. But that's an idea that you can use. And then for the inside, I did a little bit of that earlier, and I'm going to just put a few more fish on that. Notice how I'm using the partial ones here, and yeah, I think we'll go like that. Should have got my take your pick tool, but that's okay. This is likely the most time consuming of the whole card, is gluing your fish on, if that's what you choose to do. And there we go. And now I can stamp my greeting there when I know what I want to put there, but for today, we're going to leave it blank. And there's my little card that's going to go within the card. You like how you cut out the fish and place it? Yeah, that's a really fun way of doing things, and one I often forget that we can do that, and it sort of multiplies our uses, right? So now I'm going to put this in here, and I'm actually going to line up my fold with the edge of my designer paper. I'm not putting it right up to the fold of the cardstock. You could, no problem, but I find if I do that, I get nice layers here, and that's what I'm looking for right now, is nice layers right there. And you'll see why I'm worried, or not worried. That's what I'm looking at when you see the finished card. So I'm putting it right about there. I'm going to put it down a smidge more. There. So we've got it like that. Now, what is going to happen here is we're going to bring in these pieces like this, and this piece here is going to go right on here. So it's going to carry that theme along. You see how quickly this is coming together? I've got hooked making these the last couple of days. I've made a few, and I've got a few more half made and a few more plans for more because my brain just won't stop. Okay, so there we go. We've got it like that. Now with this one here, these two are going to go like this, but we kind of have to decide what we're doing with it. So I'm going to just put them to the side for a minute. And when I was thinking about what do I have that is sea related, I guess you could say, I remembered that I have Waves of Inspiration. And in the end, I didn't use the stamps. I thought I was going to. Well, I did use You're So Totally Awesome. That's what I'm going to use. Do you sometimes find that you forget stamps that you were in love with maybe a year ago? This was one of my favorite stamps a year ago. There's also a die that goes with it. So here's the die, and here's my little Get Acquainted sheet. And we're going to use this right here. I could have used this on the inside, but the pelican was looking this way, and if he could have gone here, that would have been great, but he would have shown. So that's why I didn't use him. But we are going to use the words because they're totally awesome words. So we're going to just stamp that in Misty Moonlight. Usually I stamp and then cut, but I cut ahead of time tonight. So here's hoping that I can stamp properly. If not, I did a spare just in case. Oh, it worked. Hurrah. So we'll put that aside. And then if you'll notice on this card here, I ran a ribbon through that. And so I brought in some of this great navy ribbon. It is so silky and soft and two-toned, and it seems to go just fine with the card. So I'm going to put it through here like that. Actually, I am going to, because I learned on my last card, I'm going to actually put a little seal there to hold the ribbon in place once I get it through. We're going to just, you can see this ribbon would fray beautifully too. So I want the ribbon to stay in the middle, so that's why I use the seal, but I just want to make sure, I want to offset it a bit. So I'm going to slide it down a bit more. This is where I'm just being a tad fussy. That's all. So I want it to go like that. I just saw something. The ribbon is the perfect match. It is. They call it Night of Navy, but just like so many of our embellishments, they go with other colors too. So I'm going to, whoops, helps if I take the cap off. Run just some seal down here so I can tuck the ribbon into that. Boy, I'm butterfingeries tonight. There we go. And I think I'll put it just over to the side. Maybe, no, I think I'll go right in the middle. What I'm doing is I'm actually just copying this card here. I thought I put that one off to the side, but I didn't. And put that there. And that there. You could have put some adhesive behind there to hold it in place if you wanted. And we're going to just now stick it to the Misty Moonlight layer. Like that. These colors just look so good together. There we go. And before we can put it on the card at any time, but I wanted to show you what I did. If you noticed here, in the in colors, we have the ribbon and we have the twine. We don't have Night of Navy twine, and I could have used anything else. I could have used linen thread or something, but I do have now some linen twine, or not linen, some twine, Misty Moonlight twine. And how did I do that? I took I took the Very Vanilla. You could take the basic white or whatever. And I brought in some scrap paper and I laid it out. And I took my light Night of Navy blends, and they color the twine beautifully and they dry quickly. I just wanted it to be dry, for sure dry tonight. But you can see that's how quickly that went. So there's another use for your blends. Do use the side of your brush. You don't want to wreck the tip of it. But that's how I got Night of Navy twine. And I think I want to double it up. I did lots by the looks of things. So I'm just going to tuck it under. And because this card could be for a guy or a girl, I didn't want to be too frou-frou-y, but I wanted to add a little bit of something. So I thought twine would do the trick here. All I'm doing is I slid it under the Night of Navy ribbon and tied a knot. That's all I did. And I could slide it around to wherever I want. But this will be good right here. Now, if you wanted it unraveled, you could take the end of take your pick tool and or your scissors, and just sort of untwist the threads there, and you get that look. Might as well do it. It's coming along here. Just like that. There we go. Now we're going to put it on the card. Now I'm going to use dimensionals, but before I do that, I want you to notice something. Notice how I now have this layer here. So the card that is within the card is forming that layer, and that is why I didn't want to stamp there. So does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm actually going to use dimensionals. So I like to just put this here and put a few that are on the edge. Then I know they're not going to hang over and glue my card shut. And then I'll put a few more right here. And that should be good. We'll take off all those backings, and then all we have left to do is add embellishments, and we are done. That's how quickly it comes together. But it just feels a little bit special because it's got that card within the card. So I'm holding this up till I get my borders straight. It's looking pretty good there. Push that down, and look at that. Ooh, it makes me happy. I don't know about you. Can you see yourself making this? It's very doable. So I would suggest give it a try. So let's see. These almost look like water bubbles, don't they? There we go. And I'm just going to copy mine because, you know, otherwise I could be going around forever. Let me just clear a spot here. So there is the original card, like that, and I just stamped that in here, and then did put my greeting in here like this. So there's that one, and here's the one we made tonight. Less dramatic with the stamping. But as long as you keep it over here, you can do whatever you want. Now, I see some of you saying you could see yourself making this card. Excellent. Like I said, I got a little carried away. So then I went over to this one here. So here, this is the bubble bath paper. This is the something eclectic. I forget the name of it. Anyway, it's a huge pack of paper. So, and then I went with the something Simply Citrus, I think it's called. And so this one here, I didn't use designer paper on the front. I just did a little bit of stamping. And then in here, I actually used an embossing folder and then just put a couple of little lemons there, or oranges, or whatever they are. And then on the inside, I put this in the corner, and then the pieces that I cut off, I stuck here, like I did the little bits of fish that we did. And so that's how I did that part there. So there it is like that. So you don't have to use designer paper on the front. You can do stamping. It's a card, so you can stamp it however you want. Same within here. You can do whatever you want. It's a card front. So as long as you remember that, you likely will be just fine. Oh, I see hearts coming. Yeah, thank you. I'm seeing positive stuff here. Then I thought, well, what if I went to the space one? But this time I went with the dies, the countryside dies. So instead of having our basic rectangular shapes back here, I went with the countryside dies. So I used the deboss side of the embossing folder here, and that great holographic trio paper adds that. So do you want to see the card inside the card? So it's like that. It's just designer paper, and then it goes like that. So I cut the largest one out on the fold, so that the largest die, so that I had that shape, the countryside shape. And then I didn't think I needed anything more in here. And so it's just like that. And then this is on the outside. This was really a quick card once I had figured out what I was going to do. It has less layers because the paper is so busy. But again, you've got your layers happening like that. And then I ran out of time, but I really wanted to make, and I have the plan with the new online exclusive paper, well, what is it called? One Horse Open Sleigh. With this paper here, I really think we could make some neat cards within a card with this paper. So these are online exclusives. So check the online exclusive shop. If you go to my website and just search online exclusives, you'll find that. Thursday's newsletter will have the measurements for these cards, but you'll be able to see these as well. So these will be posted on, I'm sure, on some Facebook posts this coming week, since this fold is my feature this week. So I am so happy that you're with me, and thank you for your positive response. And I can't wait to see what you do. If you make these cards, please, please, please post them. Well, tomorrow morning this will be posted, so maybe post it under that and post a picture. Anytime this week. It doesn't have to be by tomorrow morning. I'm not giving you a deadline. But it is a very doable card, and you can make it as complicated or simple as you want. So thank you for joining me. Remember, if you have questions, please reach out and ask. If you want to go shopping at my online store, this is the hostess code right now. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button too. And also maybe share it with your friends as well. That would be great. So thank you so much. Have fun with this. Take care, and bye-bye.